Ladies and gentlemen, we've all faced moments where life felt like it slipped through our fingers. Seasons where our time, energy, or opportunity seemed wasted. Perhaps it was a relationship that drained you, a career path that led to a dead end, or years lost to fear and indecision. But let me tell you this, what you perceive as lost, God sees as a canvas for restoration. There is no waste in the hands of the divine. Your life, your journey, your struggles, they are all part of a masterpiece in progress. The years you think were barren can be transformed into a harvest more abundant than you ever imagined. First, you must believe that restoration is possible. Faith is the seed of change. If you only focus on what's lost, you'll never see what can be gained. But when you shift your perspective, when you trust that God is working behind the scenes, doors will open, paths will appear, and miracles will unfold. Second, release regret. Regret shackles us to the past. It whispers you've wasted too much time. It's too late for you. But hear this, it is never too late for God. Time is not a limitation for the one who created it. He can take what you've lost and multiply it. The years the locusts have eaten will be restored. The dreams you buried can rise again. Third, step into action. Restoration is not just about waiting, it's about preparing. Start planting seeds today, seeds of effort, kindness, learning, and hope. Trust that as you do your part, God will do his. Think of the oak tree. It starts as a small acorn, seemingly insignificant, but when planted in the right soil and nurtured, grows into a mighty force that provides shade, shelter, and beauty for generations. Your wasted years are not the end, they're the soil, and your faith, persistence, and belief in God's timing are the water and sunlight. So stand tall today. Know that the God who restores is on your side. What you thought was gone is merely being prepared for something greater. Trust the process, hold on to hope, and take action. The years you thought were wasted will become the years you're most thankful for. Because with God, nothing is ever truly lost. Restoration begins with faith, because faith unlocks the impossible. It is the starting point where doubt is silenced and hope is born. When you trust in God, you give him the space to move in ways beyond your comprehension. Faith is not just belief, it's the foundation for transformation. Without it, restoration remains out of reach. Trust that nothing is ever truly lost in God's hands, for he is the ultimate restorer. What seems broken to us can be rebuilt by him into something stronger. Every lost moment, opportunity, or relationship has a purpose in his grand design. Trust allows us to let go of the burden of control. In his hands, what is lost finds new life. God's timing is perfect, even when it feels delayed to us. We often rush wanting immediate answers, but he sees the whole picture. Waiting can feel like wasted time, but it is often the period where he prepares us. His timing brings clarity, peace, and blessings that align perfectly. What feels delayed is often simply the right moment waiting to unfold. The Creator can multiply what seems insignificant in ways we cannot imagine. The small seeds of effort we sow, he can grow into abundant harvest. Even when all we have left feels too little, he shows his greatness. In God's economy, nothing is too small to be transformed. The more we trust him with our little, the more he reveals his abundance. What looks like an ending is often a new beginning disguised in difficulty. Life may seem to have closed a door, but God is opening something better. Endings are not failures, they are transitions to a new season. Trusting the process helps us see beyond the loss. New beginnings are birthed through what we think are endings. Stop focusing on what's lost. Focus on what's possible instead. When we dwell on the past, we blind ourselves to opportunities in the present. Restoration requires a mindset shift from regret to hope. The future cannot grow if we keep watering the pain of yesterday. By focusing on possibilities, we position ourselves for transformation. Challenges are opportunities for growth and preparation, even when they don't feel like it. Every obstacle teaches us something valuable about ourselves and our purpose. What feels like wasted time is often God shaping us for what's ahead. Challenges refine us into vessels capable of receiving greater blessings. In hindsight, we often see that growth came through difficulty. Wasted years are often the foundation for future victories. They contain lessons that prepare us for the heights we are destined to reach. Failure and frustration are often the building blocks of wisdom and strength. When we stop viewing time as wasted and see it as preparation, we gain clarity. The victories ahead are often shaped by the struggles behind. What you see as barren, God sees as fertile ground for growth. The emptiness of the past can become the soil for a future harvest. Life may feel empty now, but seasons of barrenness are where God works most. He plants seeds in the darkness that will bloom in the light. Trust that what seems barren now is brimming with unseen potential. Your struggles are part of a greater masterpiece that is being painted by God. The pain and setbacks are strokes of color that add depth and beauty. You cannot see the full picture while it is being created, but trust the process. What feels like chaos now will later reveal a masterpiece of purpose. Every struggle adds meaning to your life story. Regret is a prison that chains us to the past and prevents progress. It tells us lies about our worth and limits our future potential. Letting go of regret opens the door to restoration and renewal. The years you lament are not wasted, they are lessons for growth. Freedom begins when you release regret and embrace possibility. God's grace is greater than your past mistakes and failures. No matter how far you think you've fallen, His love can lift you higher. Restoration doesn't depend on your perfection, but on His mercy. His grace rewrites your story and removes the stain of regret. In His hands, your brokenness becomes a testimony of redemption. You are not defined by lost opportunities or past failures. The choices you regret do not determine your worth or future. God sees you as whole, even when you feel incomplete. Restoration begins when you stop letting your past define you. What matters most is how you choose to move forward. The past is a lesson, not a life sentence, no matter how heavy it feels. You were never meant to carry yesterday's burdens into tomorrow. Learn from your mistakes, but don't let them anchor you to regret. God's plan always includes redemption and a brighter future. The lessons of the past prepare you for what's to come. Forgive yourself to embrace restoration fully, for healing starts within. Self-forgiveness is not excusing your mistakes, but releasing their hold on you. Without it, restoration cannot take root in your heart. God has already forgiven you, so why hold on to what He's let go of? Embrace grace and open yourself to a new beginning. Restoration requires your participation. It's not a passive process. You must take steps of faith, even when you feel unsure. God provides the strength, but you must take the first step forward. Growth happens when effort meets divine intervention. Be willing to move, and God will guide you. Plant new seeds, even if you feel it's too late to see a harvest. Start small and trust that God can do great things with your effort. It's never too late to rebuild, no matter how much time feels lost. Each action you take in faith becomes a seed of restoration. The sooner you plant, the sooner the harvest will come. Small steps of faith lead to great outcomes over time. You don't have to leap, you just need to move forward. Each small act of trust and effort brings you closer to restoration. God honors even the smallest steps when taken with a faithful heart. Progress is made one step at a time, not all at once. Align your actions with your vision of restoration and watch transformation happen. Restoration requires both faith and effort to bring the vision to life. Your choices should reflect the future you want to create. Act as though restoration is already happening, and it will take form. The more you align with God's purpose, the more restoration becomes a reality. Take responsibility for your future with God's help, knowing it's a partnership. Restoration begins when you decide to move forward, regardless of past mistakes. God empowers you, but you must take the initiative to act. Your willingness to take responsibility positions you for breakthrough. Together with God, you can rewrite your future. It's never too late to start again, no matter how much time you feel you've lost. God specializes in redeeming what seems irredeemable. Age, circumstances, or mistakes cannot limit His ability to restore. Every new day is a fresh opportunity to step into restoration. Trust that your best years can still lie ahead. Hope is the anchor that keeps you steady during the storm. Without hope, restoration feels impossible and far away. Cling to hope, even in the darkest seasons, for it sustains you. Hope gives you the strength to keep you moving forward when everything seems lost. With hope, you'll find the courage to believe in restoration. Even a delay is not denial. It is often God's way of perfecting his plan. What feels like a no is sometimes just not yet. Trust that delays are preparing you for something greater than you expected. God works in seasons, and your time is coming. Waiting builds patience, faith, and resilience. Every setback prepares you for a comeback that exceeds expectations. What feels like failure now is often a setup for a greater victory. God uses setbacks to build character, strength, and wisdom in you. A comeback isn't just about recovery, it's about surpassing what was lost. Trust that your greatest moments are ahead of you. What broke you can also build you into someone stronger and wiser. Pain and loss shape us in ways that success never could. Restoration takes the broken pieces and turns them into a mosaic of beauty. The things that hurt you most often lead to the most significant growth. God uses your brokenness to create something extraordinary. I will restore the years the locusts have eaten is not just a promise, it's a declaration of hope. No matter how much time feels wasted or destroyed, God can redeem it all. The locusts symbolize the challenges, mistakes, or losses you've faced, but they don't have the final word. Restoration goes beyond repair, it transforms loss into abundance. When God promises restoration, he fulfills it in ways beyond imagination. God's promises never return void because his word carries creative power. When he speaks restoration over your life, it is already set in motion. Even when circumstances seem unchanged, trust that his promises are unfolding. He doesn't make empty declarations, his promises are certain and reliable. What he has spoken over you will come to pass. The God who created time can redeem it, no matter how much you feel you've lost. Time is not a limitation for him, and he works outside of our understanding of it. What feels wasted to you can be compressed, multiplied, and made meaningful. He can restore not only the time, but the impact and joy you thought were gone. Trust that his power is not bound by human constraints. His plan for you is greater than your failures, no matter how large they seem. Your mistakes do not disqualify you from his purpose. They are part of the journey. God takes what was meant for harm and turns it into good. He weaves your failures into the tapestry of your destiny, creating something beautiful. In his plan, even your setbacks have significance. Divine restoration brings unexpected blessings that go beyond what you've lost. It's not just about getting back what was taken, it's about receiving more. God's restoration is abundant, often surprising us with gifts we didn't anticipate. When he restores, he adds joy, peace, and growth to what was missing. Trust that what's coming is greater than what's gone. Use your pain to fuel your progress, turning struggles into stepping stones. Pain can either hold you back or push you forward. The choice is yours. God doesn't waste pain, it's a tool for growth and transformation. Let your hardships inspire you to move with greater purpose and resilience. Every tear you've cried is watering the seeds of your future. Wasted years teach wisdom for the future if you allow them to. The experiences you regret hold valuable lessons that can guide your next steps. Instead of lamenting the time lost, reflect on what it taught you. Wisdom gained through hardship becomes a powerful tool for restoration. Your past has equipped you for a brighter and more purposeful future. You grow the most in seasons of waiting, even if it feels like nothing is happening. Waiting tests your patience, strengthens your faith, and builds resilience. God often uses these times to prepare you for what's ahead. The growth may be invisible now, but it will bear fruit in due season. Trust that waiting is not wasted time, it's preparation. The lessons you've learned are seeds of restoration, waiting to take root. Every mistake, challenge, or loss has prepared you for what's next. God can use your past to bring about a future you never imagined. Those lessons, though hard-earned, are valuable tools for rebuilding. Allow them to guide you toward a restored and fulfilling life. Embrace patience, it's part of the process that leads to restoration. Patience allows you to trust in God's timing rather than rushing the outcome. Restoration is not instant because lasting change requires preparation. By waiting with faith, you allow God to work in ways you cannot see. Patience turns your hope into a foundation for miracles. God can do more with your little than you can with much. The small things you bring to him, time, effort, or faith he can multiply. What you think is too little is exactly what he uses to show his power. Trust that even your smallest offering can lead to extraordinary outcomes. With God, a little goes a long way toward restoration. Restoration doesn't just give back, it multiplies beyond expectation. God's way of restoring isn't about returning to where you were, but elevating you further. What was lost is not only replaced, but expanded and improved. His restoration is a display of his abundant grace and love. Expect to receive more than you ever thought possible. Lost time can lead to exponential breakthroughs when placed in God's hands. What you think was wasted can become the most impactful part of your story. God accelerates restoration, making up for the time you thought you missed. Trust that he can take what seems lost and use it to create something extraordinary. Breakthroughs often come when you least expect them. What was broken can become even better than it was before. Restoration isn't about returning to the same state, it's about transformation. The cracks in your life allow God's light to shine through and bring healing. What once caused you pain becomes a source of strength and beauty. Trust that he can make all things new and better. God can turn ashes into beauty, taking destruction and creating something magnificent. Even when everything seems burned to the ground, he rebuilds with purpose. He doesn't just restore what was lost, he brings new life, joy, and hope. Ashes represent endings, but God turns them into new beginnings. From destruction, he creates beauty that glorifies him. Don't give up on your dreams, no matter how distant they seem. God planted those desires in your heart for a reason, and he hasn't forgotten them. Delays or detours don't mean your dreams are dead, they're being refined. Keep believing, working, and trusting that they'll come to fruition. With God, even forgotten dreams can be resurrected. Your story is not over yet, no matter how final your losses feel. What seems like the end is often just a chapter in a much larger book. God is still writing your story, and restoration is part of the next chapter. Don't stop in the middle. Keep moving forward in faith. The best parts of your story are still ahead. Keep moving forward, no matter how small the step may seem. Progress doesn't have to be fast, it just has to be steady. God honors even the smallest steps when they are taken in faith. Each step you take moves you closer to restoration and fulfillment. Don't stop. Keep pushing toward the life he has for you. God can open doors you never imagined, even when it feels like every path is blocked. He specializes in making a way where there seems to be none. Restoration often comes through unexpected opportunities and divine connections. Trust that he is working behind the scenes to create openings for you. Stay ready to walk through the doors he provides. Your greatest season is ahead of you, even if the past feels overwhelming. What's behind you cannot compare to what God has prepared for you. Restoration isn't about reliving the past, it's about stepping into a brighter future. The best is yet to come, and you are being prepared for it now. Hold on to hope and keep moving forward. See your future through the lens of possibility, not limitation. Restoration requires a shift in perspective from doubt to faith. What you focus on expands, so fix your eyes on what God can do. When you see possibilities, you position yourself to receive blessings. Trust that the future is filled with potential waiting to be realized. Let go of the old to make room for the new, even if it feels difficult. Restoration often requires releasing what no longer serves you. Holding on to the past prevents you from stepping into God's new plan for your life. Trust that letting go is not loss, but preparation for greater things. Open your hands and heart to receive the new blessings coming your way. Embrace the purpose hidden in your pain, for it's part of God's greater plan. The struggles you've endured are not meaningless, they have a purpose. Pain often reveals strengths and talents you didn't know you had. God uses every tear, every hartash, to shape you for something greater. Look for the lessons and let them guide you forward. Your journey can inspire others, turning your restoration into a testimony. The challenges you've faced and overcome can bring hope to those in similar situations. When you allow God to restore you, your story becomes a beacon of light. Share your experience to encourage others that restoration is possible. Your journey is not just for you, it's for those who need hope. Believe that your best days are still to come, no matter how hard the past has been. God's restoration is about giving you a future filled with joy and purpose. The years ahead hold more blessings than you can imagine. Keep your faith strong and your heart open to the possibilities. With God, the best is always yet to come.